All right. So, huh? Oh.
Trying to get here.
So,
Yeah, thank you though. Okay.
so for those that know, who don't know, I am Denise Camille. Come in this barbershop every Friday, Saturday. What day is today? I don't even know. So I talk about relationship with self, right? So last night we had another topic. I host question and answer over on 670 Terry Street for game nights every Friday night. And last night's topic was how many kids we got? One, two. Okay. How do you define? Huh? How do you define dominance?
Y'all ain't weird.
If y'all could, how do you define dominance? Taking control.
What you say, man?
So today, before I give the topic, I'm gonna give the definition. The word is dominance today.
Okay.
So that was the topic from last night. So we got some good examples of it. How do you define dominance? He said, take control.
Yeah, take control. Know what I say too. Take control.
Okay. So the question was, what is it being dominant without sex or money?
Oh yeah. In a relationship?
Yeah. Without, okay, before relationship, with just yourself. What can you dominate in yourself without having these other anomalies?
Well, get your health.
Okay. Give you an example. So one of the topics that was discussed was respect. And that can go for yourself and in a relationship. You can have dominance with respect without sex or money.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Give me how you understand. Tell me how you understand it.
Well, just like you said you can have dominance. Okay, let me ask you this then. When you say dominant, what you mean by that?
Like, you know how...
Dominance of another person? Or
No, of yourself. Yourself.
It's almost the same as self-control.
Yeah, self-control. So, right. So another caveat to dominance was happiness. So another brother said that when he's happy within himself, he can dominate himself. So when he aligns himself with somebody else like a partner, he knows that they're respecting themselves and discipline as well, as he is. Because most people think because they have the one up, or they think it's the one up when they have sex or money, they can dominate the other person. Right. Not realizing that all you're doing is playing your cards out to show that you're the weaker person, right? So it always goes back to relationship with self, that value that you have with yourself, right? Oh, by the way, the book will be out in about 2 weeks. Huh? Oh, no, so I am an author as well. I have this book coming out, Urban Life with Love, the 5 native languages that we speak. So it comes to a place where, no, you good. You know, y'all not even in the camera. Y'all don't want to be in the camera anyway, so it's always facing me. Right, that's what Wiz be doing. So when it comes to that dominance, what else can you dominate? If you know what that dominance is, what else can you dominate? Would you want to dominate another person? You wouldn't? Anybody else that would want to?
Is dominance a bad thing?
You dominate your kids.
Is it a bad thing?
Are you dominating them or are you just guiding them?
Depends on the situation.
Okay, so wait. So like for me this morning when I left the kids, right. So I made sure with my kids, I'm like, if y'all don't clean, y'all don't eat. That's not dominance. That's just making it plain that if y'all not being responsible for your accountability here. You know, when you become adults, you need to learn how to clean. You need to learn how to cook.
Right.
So for me, I'm not dominating y'all. I'm just giving y'all the option. If y'all don't eat, if y'all don't cook, y'all don't eat. Food is a privilege in my house. So that's not even a dominance. I choose not to dominate them because then they're going to look at me out of fear. And that's how the topic escalated last night, where what's the difference between respect and fear? Because some people said that respect is a part of fear. And they threw in the parent to child thing. And I said, well, I know growing up, when my mother gave me the eye, I was fearful of her. Yet, as an adult, I didn't respect her because of that, because you never told me why I shouldn't do it.
I respected mine and I feared her. So I think it's healthy to have a little fear in kids because children know Yeah, because if they're not fearful, they gonna try you, especially this day and age.
But again,
They'll try you. So I feel
even-
like
but
it's
even-
good to have some type of fear, but fear and respect can go hand.
it can
in
go
hand
parallel,
as well.
right?
Exactly.
So the disagreement last night was it's one and the same, because they say you have to fear somebody to respect somebody, right? So we had to kind of just dissect that, because we had to what is respect and what is fear. So the main concept was everything is objective. So some people can say, well, I learned respect through this, or I learned fear through this. So it was having to identify, what do you fear? Because they say everyone has some sort of fear, right, in life. Yet, how do you give or earn respect? Because respect is not given, it's earned. So for children, and it is a little different, because, these day and ages, yes, they are, yet the same token, they need you more than you need them. So for me, I know the way I give mine, they may act like they're not fearful or they're not respectable, yet let me leave the scene completely. And they're like, oh man, that's what respect would have stepped in. Like, man, had I just did what I had to do and she said I should have done it. So I understand that, and they do go parallel. So would you say that when you meet someone, are you in the concept of fear, respect, or dominance, or neither of the three?
When you meet somebody,
Right.
Respect.
Respect, right?
respect off the top.
Okay.
Until you show me different.
Until you show me different. Okay. So one of the guys made a concept of, I respect my girl enough to not lose her by cheating. I said, okay. But he said that was a fear of losing her.
So it goes hand in hand.
Right. Yeah, I think he was trying to say that he didn't, because I was saying, when you're with someone, that's an investment, right? Because the value are people, it's not money. We're the real currency. Yet he was stating that he only was respecting it because of the investment he put in it. You get what I'm saying? And not because of who she is. So, right. So okay, so my concept was, why would you have any fear of losing what you already gained? So then, okay, so do you, when you meet someone, right, you base it off of respect, do you ask them, what's your intentions when they meet you?
No.
You shout them, hey, wait a minute.
Come up later.
No.
I don't feel like it's bad in the first time.
Right.
It definitely has to be addressed.
Yeah, it had to be good next second, third day.
Okay then. Okay. So that's it. So are you in the caveat of fun friends? Are you still dating them, or are you in a place where you're like? But what does that mean to you when she says she's just dating?
She having fun. She's being single. That's her way of saying she's.
That's what you think she means, or did you ask her define fun dating? What is dating?
She's probably seeing other guys and going on dates.
Okay, and is that?
That's what I'm assuming.
But what happens when you assume?
Ask how you and me.
Exactly. So instead of assuming, ask.
I'm asking them questions. You know me.
Okay, so I usually ask, what's your intentions with yourself first, right? Because most times people are just aimlessly just existing. They're not even living on purpose or dating with intention or living with intention, nothing. So you want to...
Questions are kind of tricky when you first ask them, because they can tell you anything you want to hear when you first meet them.
Okay, so let's say...
Let them show you who they are.
Okay, so what about that? Now, I always talk about with y'all that men, y'all say y'all like to turn off. No, okay, but let's say your intuition says something else. Let's say you turn on your intuition this time around, and you pick up on some things that are a little bit flags on a play. What do you do then? Because your intuition is telling you she ain't shit. You're going to fall back. So you won't just elaborate. I'm like, hey, I'm picking up that you ain't for me. You can't just be honest? Okay. Right. So let's say...
Why would you fall back instead of addressing?
Exactly.
Because I feel like that's the problem when it kind of gets to dating is that now you're putting in someone, you're kind of in a ghosting phase.
And now she gonna stalk you.
No, because you don't fall back, right? You falling back, but you're acting different.
Right, your behavior pattern. Let him finish. Can I turn the camera on you?
The fallback comes in when I just happen to take that time for myself. So kind of like
To introspect.
let the see if this is something that I want.
Okay.
I fall back with like everything.
Okay, now I'm tracking.
Okay.
I thought you
Okay.
were saying fall back like.
Right. That's what I thought a fallback was. So.
But I ain't doing as hard as I was.
Okay.
You did something you said you did to me.
So why not address it still though?
But I will, but it has to be like my time.
Okay.
I can't just address it because that's what society says. Like, yo,
No. Right. Okay. So let's say.
she clean myself up. If
But-
she clean it up, then I ain't gotta address it. Or I can address it in a retrospect manner. Like,
Right.
I was gonna say something, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't.
I understand that.
Me, I gotta be me.
You got. I understand that. So my concept is addressing it helps with not having to tolerate it later on. Let's say you don't address it and y'all end up going further and further in the relationship. Straight at the door, sir. So let's say you don't address it, right? But somehow you forget to address it, right? Let's say you forget to address it, and months go by, years go by. Y'all down the fucking, y'all down the line, going down, getting married, all this other stuff, kids. So it's the same thing that's happening, but now it's a subtle thing because you never really addressed it. Is that something that's a deal breaker after you've gotten highly invested? Is it?
I don't think it's too late. I
It's-
think that's what the problem is. I feel in a lot of marriages and in relationships, unfortunately, is communication. And I feel like on nothing against.
You're not in the
but I
camera.
feel like a lot of times y'all have, it's more challenging for y'all to have the harder conversation. When, like you said, if she did something that rubbed you the wrong way, instead of addressing it then and saying, hey, I didn't like what you just did, or whatever the case may be, it's kind of like you said, you would give her an opportunity to see if she's going to correct her behavior, rather than telling her, I didn't like what you just did.
Right.
Addressing it head on. And I feel like those are the issues that you bring into, like you said, now you're married.
Now you're married.
You don't went through, and that's going 9 times out of 10. What that red flag was from the beginning that you did not address, going to be that same red flag in the end that's going to dead your relationship.
Right, and that's usually why I end up getting, because I'm a couples counselor as well, why I end up getting the ones that have been married. You have to take the risk and be open to say that. You have to be willing.
I'm about to tell you how I feel. You about to come back and yell at me.
No, so you have to know your mate. You got to know your mate, right?
It's a way to know how to talk. You gotta learn how to communicate. You gotta learn how to fight fair. But it's no different than like I tell my guy friends. At the end of the day, if you let your kids go out here and do something without reprimanding them for what they did, you gotta do the same. For
You got to do
your
the
partner.
same, right?
You gotta have that same conversation because you don't want your kids to go out here and dive off on the end doing something that they shouldn't do. You're gonna address that. So that same hard conversation that you gotta have with your child is say, I ain't like how you acted in school. I don't like what you bringing home this grade. And addressing those situations, you gotta do the same thing with your partner. If it's a behavior that they're contributing to that you don't like, that has to be addressed. Otherwise, you're gonna start to build resentment from not addressing that situation.
And not only that, to piggyback off of that, you have to know your mate. You know there are certain times of the day
How you
she...
supposed to know your mate when you first meet him?
No, we're not talking about first meeting. No, at this point, right. At this point, and let's say you're with somebody, you see their attitudes are not in the highest value of where you want to be. You don't address it. So you become her beauty while she's the beast, right? You could only say but so much because you know she won't tolerate so much. So at some point, you're a reflection of her. Right, y'all are back to back now because y'all not facing each other. Y'all are back to back, mirroring the same issues. Yours are internal, hers are external. So you have to come to the understanding of: do I really know who she is? Do I know how she thinks? Do I know what pushes her buttons? Do I really know? Because in reality, she could just be somebody that's spiraling, and you just caught her while she's in a spiral. Most people get into relationships when they're spiraling.
That's what I'm saying. If you meet a girl at the bar, whatever you meet her at, you want to ask her all these questions when you.
No, I'm saying your intuition is gonna pick up on certain things when you ask her your few questions. The same way.
You gonna look crazy. You start going in like that.
Well, again,
I'm saying, so you gotta get a girl, you gotta get your relationship.
Starting like JD.
You know, get into it.
right. So you bring her in environments that's organic to the both of y'all. Like I tell-
What saying, once you see a relationship get serious, then when you ask questions.
Right, but even still, I know for me, when I was in that dating scene, I'm asking 1,001 questions because the dumbest question is the one you don't ask. You can't assume that she's this kind of way because she looks this kind of way or she buys this kind of food. You don't know she's probably only buying that kind of food because that's all she grew up on. You don't even know what exposure she's been into because you haven't even exposed yourself to different environments.
I feel like too, if you address it head on with the hard question, you also now get to see that person for who they are. Are they a person that blows up, or are they a person
Right.
that actually can?
Are they
have
always on
a
defense?
conversation? Because,
Right.
You know, it's gonna show.
It's
you
gonna
what
show.
type of person
Right.
you're dealing with.
Right.
If you ask them a hard question and it triggers them, and now they start yelling and screaming, well, now you know, okay,
Right.
we can't even have a conversation.
Flags on the play.
Right. You got some underlying things that need to be addressed.
Too, they still.
If you see red flags when you first meet this person, you gonna give them time to correct themselves or ask them why they doing the red flags or whatever situation.
That's your choice.
Or you gonna
That's your choice because if let's say you go into the red flags, right? What does it mean for you now? That means
she just said she
no.
doing it because of her past stuff.
But that also could mean
Or are you gonna
but that also could mean
It ain't time for her right now to
You
come
don't
in.
need to be in no relationship.
she don't need to be, right? Or let's say hypothetically,
You bringing baggage into your relationship.
but it may not.
If that's your issue, it's something you haven't healed from.
I was gonna say it may not be baggage. It may be his lesson that he has to now learn to get to his healing. So she may come into your life to teach you, damn, I gotta grow through my own problems because she's now showing it externally while you're internalizing your triggers. So it may look like a red flag to you, but in reality, it's a green flag once you heal from it. So the risk is low.
But don't that matter right now, but the red flag though. Don't nothing else matter.
But if you
When she healed, maybe I'll see her again in life.
no, you probably won't because she won't be the same mindset.
She's not the one then.
Right.
Not
But
the timing wasn't right.
so some people aren't dating for the one. He said they're dating for fun.
A lot of people do that for
So
fun.
if you're dating for fun, you're gonna go through spiraling. You're gonna go through your hiccups. You're gonna
You think for fun.
yeah, okay. You attracting and you attaching on other people's baggage when you're dating for fun.
No, when you think for fun, it's not.
You think
really
it's no
dating.
emotional attachment, but there is.
One person it may be, but for the other person it may not be.
It is. Y'all
I ain't saying a guy can catch feelings,
right?
but not for every woman.
You never know if you choose to if you choose.
I can just wait my turn.
But wait a minute. If you choose to penetrate, now because there are kids here,
Yeah.
it's an inner course. It's a course of you learning those walls, that everything. You're attaching and you're pulling back out. You're going in, pulling back out. So you can't say that there's no attachment. And men are more emotional than women are. You can't say that.
Listen, man.
You have those that will have a one night stand, still calling her. Why?
Going by. That's how it's not attached to them.
So you think until it hits you in your face, like, man, I got to deal with my shit. I got to deal with what's going on.
Now when you for fun, you don't deal with nothing.
The ones that are dealing for fun have so much underlying issues they haven't even addressed it yet.
That's why they're doing it for fun.
Okay, that's really hurt. They really hurting themselves.
Yeah. So
They're really hurting
They ain't
themselves.
ready yet.
But they going into these lessons. Every new devil, new level, right?
Yeah.
So what?
Everyone you meet is a lesson.
It could be a blessing. Some people are blessings.
This is a blessing or a curse.
It's either a blessing or a lesson, I would say, right?
You
Yet
learn something.
the ones that you meet that you know are not for you.
Right.
As most women, we will go into like, well, I can change or I can challenge or I can nurture, right?
That's a woman thing. No.
That's what I said. So as a man, though, y'all got the Captain Saberho cape on, like, I'm going to crusade her and I'm going to do all this for her and make her a better way I think she needs to be.
But listen, when a man doing that car, he see, like, he might meet this girl and she work at McDonald's. But says she's a good girl.
Right.
She's a good girl. I'm going to bring her on in. Now he's saving her, right? But he already sees this is a good girl. She take care of her business.
Right.
She just really down on her luck. But women ain't like that. Then they gonna hit down his luck.
Because
I'll see you when I see
it's not even a matter of that. A man's job is typically provide and protect. So if at the end of the day, if you're at McDonald's and I got a corporate job, you can't provide. And let's be clear, most of the time men can't even handle the fact that their woman is making more money than them. A lot of them don't feel like they're a man if their woman is exceeding them in
You know, I hear
financial.
that a lot, but I don't know no niggas like that. I don't know no men like that.
Yeah.
I know niggas looking for a girl with money.
So, but again, there
there
are variations of men and women. So that's why I go back to the dominance, because without money, are you still a man? Without sex, are you still a woman?
You still a man, you just not a provider. You know what I'm saying? You're not a provider without no bread. You just can't happen.
Okay, so let's say,
I
because let's say,
beg to differ. Because
Y'all know I
would
think
say
differently.
If you may not have no money, it's about your ambition.
exactly. I was gonna say, let's say,
Doing something.
You just gave an example.
But how long y'all let that last?
You said you want to
McDonald's, but if you're in school, that's totally different, right?
So-
McDonald's, you at McDonald's, you at school, you can finish school and come out making 100,000.
But
McDonald's, you ain't. What's your chances of making 100,000?
How many women gonna wait on that?
I know a lot of people that went to school ain't making nothing.
This is
right.
true.
So I would
School
say,
don't got nothing to do with it.
I wasn't gonna say school. I was gonna say there's something where she mentioned ambition. For me, I'm looking at bartering, because there's gonna come a time when money is non-existent. If you don't have a brain to utilize, to innovate, to have ambition, to create something with your hands, to give something else, you're worthless. You're worthless. Your looks ain't gonna mean squat. It ain't gonna mean shit. So if you don't know how to utilize your brain, it ain't illegal yet to think. So get there before y'all seen Get Out. What was they doing? Cutting out your brains and giving it to somebody white. I tell my kids that all the time. If you don't want to use your brain, they're gonna give it to somebody white. So utilize that mindset to be innovative, to compensate yourself without money. Because at the end of the day, you got people who are building huts in other countries out of, like, what, cow shit. Right. And they're making it move because they know how to utilize what they have in their resources. Sometimes we think if we don't have money, we can't do. I'm like, that's an ignorant mindset.
But wouldn't you blame that on this, like society?
No, that's on you. You could be in any environment.
Society is telling you.
You could be in the projects. There are diamonds in the rough in the projects.
Yeah, but there's broke niggas in there. Projects.
That's their mindset. That's their mindset.
Society.
No.
Doing what they see.
Okay, so let's say everybody got a TV in the projects, right? Society, right? Society shows you Bali. Society shows you Mexico. Society shows you get your passport, do this, do that, do that. That's still society.
But ain't that what everybody doing though? Because I done met females that said passport ready.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I was saying that because if you see something in your own environment that's different from where you are, why not explore that within yourself? I wasn't talking about passport, nothing. I'm not talking about right. But then
Traveling with your man, this, that, and the third. Like, why would the clothes man no more?
then you got to tell them no, that's not the one.
But that's
Well, let him be. Y'all need to pull each other up. Each one reach one. Do you help the man out, or do you say I'm gonna just go and passport it?
I feel like it's possible. With exposure, life is not set up the way you talking about.
society is
It has to be. You have to see it differently. So you saying because the internet is guiding you.
I'm saying a lot of people go to the influence them the wrong way. It's like they'll go to the internet like the wrong way, like why?
But that's a choice. Nobody put a gun to your head.
It is a choice though.
I don't even know.
Millions of people.
Okay, so let me say this, and I'm gonna turn it off. So let me say this, right? When you're creating your Instagram, your social media platforms, who was creating the algorithms?
I don't know.
You are.
What you look at?
Right. You create the algorithm. You check off, I want to watch this, I like this, these are my sports, these are my fun times, this is this. You're the one creating your own algorithms for your life. when the world ends, you end, right? It's not because the world gonna run regardless. So it's all about how you decide what you want to do with yourself.
You got a part right there. Mm-hmm. You want a part there?
I heard y'all talk about finance and
You know what?
do you agree that you need to kind of date on your level?
Well, what's your level?
I'm just saying, when you
Huh?
feel like when 6 figures, like say like, okay, if I made 6 figures, I need to meet somebody who make close to me. Because I think like, okay, if you came with purpose and you at a point where you trying to like, build portfolios and your